Okay, so what to talk about? You're right, this camera is sort of unflattering because it's so like low res or whatever. So anyway, so today I didn't really do much. I left my phone charger at work, so I went back to get it, and then I came home. I've just kind of been hanging out ever since. Yeah. Okay, I can tell you a story. True story, actually. Alright, so at work, there's this guy who comes in sometimes. He's actually been banned from the store like twice now, so I don't think he's coming back. But for a while there, he was being very stubborn about it and just come in because he's like, fuck it, you know, he's like some homeless crazy guy. So does he care? Well, anyway, this one time he came in and I was at the register and he like walks right up to me and he like slams both his hands down on the register and looks at me and he's like, "He's coming, man." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And then he goes on this huge rant about how like he was in the Air Force and how he knows like intense hand-to-hand combat and that he'll beat up anyone who tries to fuck with the store, including, he went on to mention specifically, he was like, "I don't give a fuck who it is, man. I don't give a fuck. Fucking Godzilla, fucking Rodan, I'll take him on." So I humored him and was like, "Oh yeah, man, totally, Rodan, yeah." So he's going to single-handedly fistfight Rodan and Godzilla at some point, I guess. So since he wants to save the store from fictional kaiju monsters, I gave him the nickname Rodan. So now everyone in the store knows him as Rodan. When they see him, they're like, "Oh, Rodan's across the street," you know. And that night, he left, and then came back 10 minutes later with a flower, and he gave it to me. He just, like, gave me a flower, and he's like, "Put it in water," and then he left. And then, a couple weeks after that, with his, like, sporadic comings and goings, he showed up and bought a beer and then proceeded to drink it on our patio. And when the manager told him to leave, he threatened to kill the manager, chugged the can, threw it at him, and then he was 86th. So he comes back a few weeks after that, and he's just like, he doesn't try coming in the store or anything, but we have these like newspaper stands outside the store. There's like maybe 4 of them. And he was just standing there at him, just like banging on him, just doing this crazy, like shaking his head around like that. And I walk outside, and I walk up to him, and I'm like, "Hey man, like, what are you doing?" And he just like stops, and he looks at me all wide-eyed, and then he's like, "On nights like this, I turn into Gene Simmons, and you're Eric Clapton," and then just proceeds to keep going it. So I guess he's like aware Simmons also. So he's a pretty interesting character. I haven't seen him around in a while. We have a few of those. We have kind of this weird, it's weird how the store I work at has sort of this weird like magnetism to crazy people. Like there's him, there's this guy I call Mr. Clean because he looks like Mr. Clean, and he claims to be like he works for the FBI and stuff, and he's made all these really crazy claims. And there was one female worker in the deli who he was like stalking for a while, and then we finally like caught him stealing something, so we 86'd him, and so he doesn't come around too much anymore either. Then we've got this guy I like to call Hunch Junk. I say that because he kind of like always walks with a hunch, and he used to use our bathroom to shoot up, and then he would go like pass out on our patio, and we 86'd him just because he was doing it every night, and he started to get kind of creepy about it, like towards people, so he's gone. Who else? Oh, There's this one guy, he's not homeless, he just is crazy. He was standing outside one day, and he was like threatening to kill like one of our customers' dogs that was like tied up to the patio, and so we had to text him, and then he came back just a couple days ago, actually with like a camcorder, and he was like filming like inside of the store and like just saying really weird things and like harassing people. So he's back, I guess. Great. Then there's I don't know, those are the ones that really stick out. There's been a bunch though. Yeah, I don't know. I guess. Oh, there's Chuckles, who's a homeless guy, and he gets the nickname Chuckles because he literally laughs all the time. Like he'll just walk by you laughing, and like he like laughs like in between his words, and like so at least he's happy, I guess. I don't know. I always say it's because he sees the joke, because we're like in a predominantly like upper class white area of Portland, and he's homeless, and so he's like walking around like with all these rich people, and that's probably not what it is. It's probably just fucking insane, but that's what I like to think it is. He sees the joke, and the joke is capitalism. But he's an okay guy, but he was 86 because these like kids gave him money to like come in and buy beer, and then he did, and he gave it to the kids. So we're like, yeah, that's very illegal. You can't do that. Yeah, man. I made a joke that like because there's this thing that happened that I read about a little while back where the Russians decided to send salamanders into space for a sex experiment. So yeah, the Russians wasted a lot of money on sending on space sex salamanders, basically. Like I don't know how they got the funding for that. Like what scientist or like dude working for whatever their equivalent of NASA is like walked up to like some government official and was like, okay, we need a loan. It's for science, I swear. And they're like, well, what kind of science? Be like, get this. We're gonna send salamanders to space. And if the guy's like, why? Be like, for sex? Sold. Yeah, needless to say, the project did not go well. The salamanders did not make it home, unfortunately. I don't think they know how to pilot spaceships. I'm not sure if they were giving any instructions before this happened or like what, but yeah, it didn't work out. So I had an idea of like, because like every week in the paper, there's like some fucking stupid opinion article about some rich fucker who probably comes into the store, just don't know it. He's always writing about, we need to do something about the homeless in Portland, it's becoming a problem, blah, blah, blah. And so I thought to myself, like, what if we sent them to space? Like, space hobos. I'd just, like, load them up, load them on, and just be like, well, have a nice trip. I mean, obviously, really, that's a terrible thing to do, but it's a really funny thought, especially, like, if you knew, like, some of the people I'm talking about and could, like, visualize them physically. It's hilarious, really. It's like fucking Chuckles in space. Or like get Rodan up there and he'll just be like banging on like the machines and he'll like hit something that'll just like fuck it all up. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff I think about when I'm bored at work sometimes. Or like if they're gonna send animals into space, why not like sharks? Like obviously it'd be equally as irrelevant, but it'd be like cooler to say, like, yeah, dude, we've got like space sharks, man. Yeah. Fuck those salamanders. We've got sharks up there. Watch out. I don't know. I don't know. It feels strange, like just sitting in a room alone talking to myself. So this video is almost 10 minutes long, so I'm just gonna end it right now. Hope you enjoy.